Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie, and today I will be sharing how to host and plan a Mother's Day brunch for 6 to 8 people on a $50 budget, and that's going to include all of your invites, food, decor, entertainment, and favors. I will then on Thursday upload my final Tablescape design in collaboration with a few other ladies here on YouTube. Now before we get started, I'm assuming most of you watched my Dollar Tree Tablescaping 101 video. So we're going to use all of the same items that's in that video, but then tweak it by adding a few additional items. So first up is the invitation. Now the invitation could be free because you could use an Evite or some other free, invitation software on your computer. But I think sending out a physical invitation or handing out a physical invitation is a little bit more special. And I thought these would be perfect for our bee-themed Mother's Day brunch. These cost $1.50. They're in like the dollar bin at Michael's home stores, and if you use your coupon, your 40% off coupon, in this case I used a 50% off one item and picked these up for 75 cents. So again, you get 6 in a pack for 75 cents. You can't beat that. And if you have to send these in the mail, adding the cost of the postage plus the 75 cents for the card would land you somewhere around $2.25. Now next up is food. Food is a rather large chunk of our budget. It's going to take up 40% of our budget, and we budgeted $20 for our menu. So here are a few quick tips on how to put together a menu on a budget. Tip number 1 is to get your flyers from your grocery stores and look through them and look for what is on sale. So you're going to buy what's on sale and base your menus around that. And for all of your non-perishable items, for example, if you needed sodas or drinks, you can buy that really early, as far in advance as you know you're going to have your event, so you can get those drinks that you need really cheap. Now for the fresh produce, things that can spoil, you're going to look for a couple of days ahead of time and kind of put together your menu based on what's really on sale that's fresh. Before you finalize your shopping list, you're going to look through your pantry to see what you already have and kind of mix in the sale ingredients within the flyers and what you already have on hand at home to develop your menu. And the final food tip is to base the bulk of your menu around items that are inexpensive all the time, whether they're on sale or not, like potatoes, pastas, eggs. Eggs at Aldi during the time I did this brunch were 69 cents a dozen. So now let's talk about the menu. This is the actual menu that I served for my Mother's Day brunch this year, and I just printed it out with the price breakdown so that you can see what my total came to. Now again, my total is nowhere near 20 bucks. It's $53.51. I did have a personal budget for myself, $50 for this brunch. But again, every single thing that you see on this Tablescape that I'm going to reveal on this coming Thursday, I already had in my home. I didn't spend not 1 cent on anything other than the food. So my entire budget was focused on food, and I did go $3.51 over budget. So I'm going to share with you how to remake over this menu so you can still have a fabulous menu for about $20. And so here's our remixed menu, and basically, we really didn't sacrifice too much. It's still a great menu for a cheaper price. So let's look at how we brought our French toast casserole from on our previous menu from $5.61 down to $1.83. So here is the original recipe for the French toast that I made for our brunch. I made a cream cheese French toast casserole, and basically the bread is what cost the most in this recipe. We used challah bread, and then also the cream cheese was $1.29. Your milk, eggs, are pretty much going to be the same in both recipes, the remixed recipe. And then down here I have zeros because these are all the items I had on hand. So if we want to remix this cream cheese French toast casserole without sacrificing too much of the flavor, we would first find a bread that is less expensive. So over here in my Sprouts grocery store flyer, they were selling fresh baked French bread for 99 cents a loaf for a 15-ounce loaf. That was about the same number of ounces in the challah bread, so we can get this for 99 cents. And this now becomes 99 cents. Then also we can nix the cream cheese. You don't have to have the cream cheese. It makes it a little bit more decadent and tasteful, but you don't have to have it. So we're going to mark off that cream cheese as well. Now if you add up these values here, that's how we come to the $1.83 French toast casserole. Now let's look at another example. This spinach, feta cheese, and artichoke egg bake was a whopping $9.88. We need to get this amount down to $2.50. So really the number of ingredients and the types of ingredients is what's causing this bake to be quite on the expensive side. We had artichokes in there for $2.79, and then we also had the feta cheese in there for $4. All of these zeros down here, I already had some grated Parmesan cheese at home, salt, pepper, and garlic, so we, don't have any cost there. So what we're going to do, instead of having the spinach, feta cheese, and artichoke egg bake, we're going to change our menu and actually have a tomato and spinach egg bake. That way we end up removing the cheese altogether, so we won't have that $3.99 expense. We remove the artichokes and we won't have that $2.79 expense. We will replace those two items with the tomatoes. Tomatoes were on sale at Aldi's for 59 cents a pound. So over on our sheet, we're going to add in 59 cents. And then we also take out the onion. So if you add up these items, you are now in line with our remixed menu for a tomato and spinach egg bake for $2.50. Now on our other menu, we had a maple honey bacon and sausage, and that came in at $8. On our remixed menu, we just eliminated the bacon and the sausage all together. And then also on our original menu, we had chicken salad croissants. They came in at $8.75. And the most expensive item in this particular dish was the croissants. And they came in at a whopping $5 for a bag of croissants. So basically we just switched out the bread on our remix menu and actually replaced it with, a different type of bread, sandwich bread, and that will bring the price down to $4.75. Then we had a fruit and yogurt parfaits, and that came in at $4.08. On our remixed menu, we just had fresh fruit. Now for dessert, on our original menu, we had apple pie and ice cream. That came in at $11. Well, again, the apple pie was $6.99, and then the ice cream was $4. So we needed to remix our dessert, and what we remixed that dessert to were the honey peaches and whipped cream. So peaches were also on sale, and then you just bought the whipped cream. Whipped cream was also on sale for 99 cents, and so now our $11 dessert is down to $4.40. We kept the mimosa cocktails on both menus. On this menu, we took away the additional juice and just left the milk, because with our mimosas, we also have the orange juice and ginger ale mixed together, so you will have some juice. And then we had the water, coffee, and tea. Already had that on hand. So now our new menu is $20.96. So now let's talk about decor. We have $20 to spend on decorative items to enhance what we already have. So here is how I would spend my $20. The first thing I would do is purchase a stamp. I love using stamps because this allows you to customize so many things throughout your party without spending a lot of money. But these stamps I actually picked up from Michael's a while back, and their stamps are $1, and I used my 40% off coupon, so I got this stamp set for about 60 cents. And then also you would need some ink pad. If you don't already have an ink pad, you can buy an ink pad so that you would be able to use your stamp. And again, you can get something like this for $3.90, anywhere between $2 and $4. And again, if you use your coupons, you can get this right around $1. And here I have the vintage French Queen Bee table runner, and I'm going to use this to layer onto my existing tablecloth. Again, if you looked at my Tablescape 101 video, one of the things I stressed was to get just a basic white or off-white tablecloth, and then you can just accent and build up and layer by adding a runner. This runner cost me $7. The next thing I would purchase is cardstock. You can get cardstock. They're typically 49 cents a sheet, but Hobby Lobby and the different craft stores always run specials, 50% off of cardstock. So it would be about 25 cents a sheet, and you would get 4 sheets. The next big thing I always stress in all of my events is fabric. I love fabric. Fabric can totally change up an entire look for little to or next to nothing. So again, I would say purchase some fabric, and again, the amount of fabric you purchase is going to depend on what you want to do. Again, you can purchase a yard of fabric. Let's say if you can get that for $6 or under. I have a discount fabric store, so I got a whole roll of this. I think it's about 5 yards for like $5. But again, that's probably not typical for everyone, but with a yard of fabric, you can do a lot. You can make your own runners. You can make your own napkins if you want to switch up the, basic napkins that you already have. You want to bring in a new color or your color palette. Fabric is the way to go. You can also use the fabric in your favors and things like that. So I'm going to show you what to do with this fabric. Now again, I'm going to give you 2 options. You can either purchase a yard, and we're going to assume a yard of fabric is $6. And if you purchase the yard of fabric, we're going to make new napkins that match our tablescape. If you're not that handy with a sewing machine and you just want to use your existing regular neutral white or off-white napkins that you have in your basics, then I would say just purchase a quarter of a yard of fabric for $1.50, and I'll show you how to incorporate that small bit of fabric into your existing tablescape. Now, if you purchased just a quarter yard of a fabric, you have some money left over to buy other decorative elements. So I would say use that remaining money, which is $8, to purchase some really nifty or really cute napkin rings. And I've had these for a while, and when I looked in my napkin ring stash, I chose these because to me these kind of resemble like a beehive or something like that. It really kind of abstractly looks like a beehive. So you can purchase some napkin rings or anything that you wish that would enhance your table. These are the items that I would have chosen if I had to spend $20 on decor. So let's talk favors and entertainment. If you remember a while ago, I bought a plethora of these little jars from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to allocate $6 to our entertainment and / favors. And we're going to make, as part of our entertainment and then a take home, we're going to make a body or a foot scrub made from ingredients that pretty much you have on hand. So now it's DIY time. First up are our DIY menu cards. So here are the items you will need. You'll need a pair of scissors, your stamp of choice, in this case we're using the B stamp, ink pad, and your cardstock. The first step you want to do is design your menu on whatever software program you would like. When you're looking for images, type in the name of the image and then put PNG behind it. So for example, I would type in laurel wreath PNG, and then hit images. So then that way it will come up as a, a transparent image. So when you click on that image, if you see those little checkered dots, that will let you know it's transparent. And what that means is when you print out on your different color cardstocks and things like that, you will not see that big white background behind whatever the picture is on. It will just print smoothly onto your paper. I also make sure that I put in a circle right around how big I want it to be. So this could be my guideline for when I'm cutting everything out. So after my menu card is cut out, I'm going to take my stamp, load it up with ink, get a good amount of ink on there, press firmly down, and then I'm going to come over to my menu, and right above the 2017 Mother's Day, I'm going to place my stamp down and press firmly to get my B. And there you have it. There is my menu. So for our next DIY, we're going to be making our foot scrub or body scrub. So what you will need is a plate, some fabric, a scissor, our B stamp and our ink pad, some twine, one of our jars, honey, brown sugar, olive oil. If you don't have brown sugar, you can use white sugar, and if you don't have olive oil, you can use coconut oil. First, you're going to lay your plate upside down on the wrong side of your fabric and trace out a circle. So you're going to go ahead and do that. So it should look something like that, and then you're going to cut out your circle. So let's move this out the way. The next step, you're going to take your B stamp again, once again, load it up with some ink, and you're going to turn this over, and you're going to use your stamp to stamp in the B in the center of your fabric. The next step, you're going to take your jar, one of your jars, and take your cut out circle and place it on top of the jar. You're going to try to find the center so the B can be centered on the top. Then you're going to press down and find where that little flap is and pinch it right there. You see this flap right here, because that's in the way, and we want to make a little slit so that this can go over nicely and we can tie it down. So now that I cut that little slit in the bottom, I can now slip that right over my jar. You see how nicely that fits in, and all you do is when I pinched it, I just snipped it with the scissor and I am good to go. The next step is to cut a piece of twine off. I will cut it, so that it could wrap around the jar at least twice and then just tie it in a bow. The final product will look something like this. After we tie the twine around it, you see we have a little B at the top. And on here, if you want to get extra jazzy, you can actually put a label on it. And if you want to spend the extra money, you can buy circle labels by Avery. Make a design just kind of how we made the menu, use that same little motif but shrink it down to size, and you can also find a B that's online as well, and then just write in whatever it is you want to put in your jar. This is foot scrub, and then I put established 2017 because that's the year we did this Mother's Day Now here's a cheat sheet if you don't want to purchase those Avery labels, because they can be a little bit expensive. You can just print out your design on regular copy paper, cut it out, fit it to your jar, and then take either clear packaging tape. If you don't have clear packaging tape, you can just take some very crystal clear, not the opaque one, but the crystal clear Scotch tape, rip off, a long enough string to kind of go around the jar halfway, and then you would just keep overlapping ever so slightly the strips until you cover the entire thing, and that way it will make it waterproof, so when you're actually using your scrub, it doesn't, this doesn't get messed up. Now this right here, I just put in this jar some scrub that I already had. I didn't want to waste my ingredients because this is going to be our craft during the Mother's Day dinner to make this. Now I'm going to share a few other impromptu DIYs you can use to customize your party using your stamp. I didn't do these for this particular event, but just to give you some ideas. So you can make customized coasters. So if you already have a coaster at home, you can take a coaster or pick them up from Dollar Tree or anywhere, and you're going to trace out a piece of fabric and cut that just like you did for the foot scrub jars. You'll just use your coaster as a guide, cut it out, and then you can place it right on top of there, and you can use some Mod Podge on there. What you would do is just take your stamp, again, load up your stamp, and stamp in the center of your coaster. And then you get that customized bee look. And what you would use this coaster for, you would put your jars on it, your carafes, and different things that hold your drinks, because the condensation will get your tablecloth wet. So you can just sit that jar right on top of here. Or with your syrups or anything like that, you can sit those on top of there. So if there's some drippage, it would drip on top of the coaster and not on top of your tablecloth. And that's just an idea. Now here's another one. It's an oldie but goodie. You guys seen me do this trick before, but I like to just customize my, little cocktail napkins or napkins. I just buy plain napkins. If you buy a sack of white napkins, you would have the most versatility. And you just take your, your little stamp with your motif on it, and then go down to the edge of your napkin, and boom, you have custom napkins. And you just sit that on your little bar area for your cocktails. You have a beautiful cocktail napkin. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, be sure to stick around, because on Thursday, I will be uploading my actual final tablescape with some additional tips in a collaboration with some wonderful ladies here on YouTube. And until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.